Lottoriddles, reach. This is sharp. Come take a seat.
Kennedy Tower, Boeing Alpha Sierra, 747 ready at runway 31 left west departure.
Boeing Alpha Sierra, 747 wind calm, west departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 31 left.
Cleared for takeoff runway 31 left Boeing 747.
I know some of these words. In my good burger voice, Charmaine Santillier from Lottoriddles.com. Fun fact, I indeed actually used to be an air traffic controller as we taxied to the runway, Naval Station Mayport, and, study my 80 Tango, my 7110. That's that little air traffic control jargon. Only them special people know that. But yeah, that's what we hosted the Blue Angels, and I got to ride the C-130. It's very strong plane that it's known for taking off at I think a 45-degree angle. I'm not sure, some kind of steep diagonal angle. Have you seen this thing in person? So between Mayport and Navy Jacks, we alternated between who hosted the Blue Angels. So I got to ride in the C-130, the cockpit, and I didn't know what I was doing the first time. So my shipmate Taylor, I squeezed her leg so hard because that adrenaline was beat, like it was getting to me. But I was supposed to let go and just let myself free, take off the seatbelt. And indeed, when we turned up again, I was floating and I felt so free. So I'm telling you, I know how this stuff feels. But yeah, with this video, there's something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. A secret that indeed, for sure, intelligence knows. Corporate America knows. Many of your airlines, they know the world doesn't look like how it's presented. And they know that at 40,000 feet, gravity stops and anti-gravity begins. If you know anything about planes, especially the average plane, their maximum height, their cruising altitude, it's between the 38, 39. They don't go too much over 40,000. So could you imagine that? Because that would mean, and I know this to be true, your airlines, they're flying in anti-gravity. Literally. That's another secret I wanted to tell, actually. I do believe in a ring Earth, and some places are not as far away as they try to make it seem. Even certain delivery services do this. They lie about, how far a place is, the way they can overcharge you. Or it's not where a place is not where it looks on the map. So not only do you have that, you have airlines flying between the border of gravity. So if you think of the gravity machines, I think it's the effect wears off, or maybe it's tuned, but I do know at 40,000 it stops, and you're free. This is in many movies, many games. I can even show it to you. But what's so foul about that? Because I mean, it's foul that they lie about it anyway. But they keep you on the border. They keep airlines cruising between the 38, maybe a little over 40. It's almost as if, hey, if this plane was to go down, we'd want it to go down. You know, we wouldn't want a plane that shut down. We wouldn't want it floating in the sky. That'll tell our secret. Most people think planes fall directly out of the sky. No, they don't. If they are shut off, they glide. But yeah, they keep the airlines right at the boundaries, that 40,000, maybe a little under 38, just in case. But yeah, they cruise in anti-gravity. And listen, I'm talking all of the air above 40,000 feet. All of it. Anti-gravity. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. You know, the air is breathable, right? Everything I'm saying right now, I can prove. You can breathe at 40,000 feet, just like you can breathe at 120,000 feet, just like you can breathe at 200,000 feet, just like you can breathe at 300 feet. It's all breathable. The flight routes, the flight plans, the flight routes, everything, they all got it controlled. It's purposely frozen. They control the air. They control what I'm trying to say, weather. So what they're going to do is they're going to freeze it to negative 50 some Fahrenheit. Why do they freeze it? You got to realize how demonic these powers are. Entrapping. If anybody were to fall out of a plane, they need them flash frozen. Because if they fall out of the plane and float, the secret's out. No, you fall out of a plane, you start floating, especially if you're in the altitude of anti-gravity. They want you offed. There's no trusting you. They want you gone. I want to give you a question to think about. Think about this for a second. Think about what I'm about to ask. Because I know there's a lot of people who believe in the globe. That's fine. You know, we open-minded here. But think about this. We live on the ground. I like to use the example sea level. I think that's a good starting place. From sea level down to the bottom of the ring floor, or I guess you could say the earth core, it's about 7-8 miles. And you can know that because a lot of these rich bigwigs, they buy the soil, the minimal rights, all the way down to like 7 miles. Go look that up. Go figure. So it's about from sea level, it's about 7 to 8 miles down. Now from sea level to the ring's firmament top, that's what I believe in. If you believe in the globe, that's the atmosphere. That's about 55 miles. So wait a minute. We have about 8 miles under us and 55 miles of air on top. Why does our planet have so much air? What's the point of having so much air? I mean, what we live in between a mile, if that, I know we live a lot less than a mile. I know you got the Mile High City in Denver, and that's where a lot of your Illuminati are. They've been digging under there forever. You know about that airport. And you should be weighing less up there. If you ever go to Denver, take your weight and then go somewhere else, sea level, and take it again. It should be different because, gravity is supposed to be stronger the closer you get to the core, right? Why is there so much air? Why is underground cold? Why aren't people on their knees when they go so deep underground? Shouldn't the gravitational pull be bringing them? I mean, shouldn't it be like leg weights? Again, let them go 5-6 miles underground, and let them take their weight. Take a scale and weigh yourself. Why is there so much air in the sky? Note, some of our skyscrapers aren't half a mile. Why are we so limited to this little space? It's because it's unnatural. I say this so much. Gravity is not natural. It's controlled by the powers that be. It's knobs, it's buttons. They literally can control it. With that being said, we are supposed to inhabit the air. There's so much space in the air that we're supposed to be living in. Breathable, and we're supposed to be floating. Breathable. Ice-capped mountains, that's induced. All of these clouds, this freezing, it gets colder. That never made sense to me. Like, I was like Huey Freeman as a kid. A nice Huey Freeman. That's kind of how I was. I was like, how does it get colder the closer you get to the sun? I'm like, it doesn't make good sense to me. Now, if I can say for a second, when we talk about the ring, I talk about the ring's floor, which we're on. In Japan's world, they're on the ceiling. So Japan's living on the ceiling of their world. That means we can too in our ring. They're controlling the weather. They're freezing anything under that 40,000 and in that 40,000. So if you go up high enough, say I don't know the exact altitude right now, but if you go high enough, it'll start getting warmer again because they take the weather effects off. That's another secret. You're supposed to be living in the air. You got all of these skydivers, man, they doing dances, they playing Twister, they doing backflips. They're giving each other hugs, jumping out these planes. I haven't seen the chess game. I'm cat talking, but it's because the adrenaline rush isn't as bad when they first come out. The adrenaline rush hits the closer you get to the ground. You see what I'm saying? Now again, they're freezing the air. So you have what's called high altitude low opening jumps. I think that's what it's called. Its acronym is HALO. Think about that. And that is jumping anywhere above 15,000 feet. I think 15,000 feet on up to 30 something. Don't quote me. I think it's around that range. And for that, you need supplemental oxygen, they say. That's because of weather modification. If they turn their little harps off, if they turned their machinery off, if they adjusted it to, no, don't adjust anything. If they turn that mess off, it goes back to regular temperature and you can float and breathe and live. I kid you not. So we're trapped to the ground. And one of the barriers is not only gravity, but it's also weather modification, because they're going to, again, I don't want to keep repeating, they freeze it the closer you get to the sun. You got to think about this stuff. I know where their little Elysium ship is. I got an idea. I don't want the people fooled by this. That Elysium stuff, that's another video. We're not going to get into that. But in anti-gravity, our natural habitat, all you need is, well, for the most part, you'll be in a state of inertia. That's floating, basically. No pull on either side. But all you would need is like a propeller, like a fan. Motion. Think of swimming in the air, basically. That's how you get around. You need some form of propellers, and which is exactly what airplanes have, aircraft. They have propellers to help move easily through anti-gravity if you want to get somewhere quicker. Now, this next part is going to trip you out. Anti-gravity, our natural habitat. We've been under gravity for centuries. Did you know we actually live longer in the sky? We live longer in the sky. I estimate through my studies, you get an additional, say, third of your life. You know why that is? Besides, anti-gravity being our natural habitat. It's because gravity isn't the unnatural force it's a hindrance on our body. Everything is being weighed down. So when you come out of the womb at birth, your entire life, it's like you got on leg weights or something. A lot of the problems, a lot of the sicknesses, a lot of the illnesses, the aches, the pains we have as we grow is due to our body being unnaturally weighed down. Gravity is not supposed to be acting on us. I would not be surprised if a woman's biological clock extended if we was in anti-gravity. You'd have children. Oh, my mother had me when she was 83. You see what I'm saying? It's hindering us, just like, they say you're not supposed to run. You're supposed to jog. Running is too heavy on I think the ankles or the calf. Probably both. But you also gotta factor in gravity. It's too much weight on the body. Our bodies aren't meant for that. This is why a lot of your sports stars, they aching in their 40s. Should we go deeper? Now that you know a third of your life been cut off because they want to hinder you under gravity, let's go deeper. We as a people, we as humanity, a species, you can say even our animal friends, we're all deformed. We're deformed. Literally, our bodies had to adjust to gravity over the centuries. So like how I mentioned in my Halo video, one of my earliest videos, you're not supposed to be scared of falling. That's not natural. But since we're under gravity, our limbic brains, rightfully so, protects us. They evolved to say, hey, whoa, every time, our species fall, especially from high heights, we tend to get hurt or die. We've had centuries of that. We've had over 1,000 years of that, if I'm not mistaken. Well, that's mental. The same thing happens to the physical. And what happens is they show you these right in front of your face through subliminals. I know for certain our ears aren't natural looking. We have like rounded ears. I'll say it like this. I theorize. Our ears are supposed to be like elves. Our ears are supposed to adapt to anti-gravity. Take your best guess. Living in anti-gravity, how do you expect our species to develop in the next few decades, the next few centuries? Right now, they already telling us our pinky toe about to go because we don't use it. I see a lot of these fairy-like videos and these elf ears. A lot of this stuff is built for anti-gravity, and they throw it right in front of your face. I know there's a species of people living in anti-gravity right now. Again, I tell through my videos, we only know about 1/3 of the world. There's 2/3 of the world we don't know about. I predict, because we're gonna meet them soon, I predict that we'll be known as the surface dwellers. Especially in the future, you hear things like, "Oh, your family was a surface dweller, so they look a certain way because they were under this crazy gravity that these evil people put them in." If you see a person in anti-gravity, a species in anti-gravity, I'm just saying, they may look more human naturally than we do now. So over time, you'll see our bodies slowly adapt to our natural state, which again, you ask anybody who's been in zero gravity, it is so freeing. I can't explain the experience. One thing I know is when you get past the scare, the shock, I hate to say the psychosis word, the disinformation, once you get past all of that, you're going to be so angry at how these people in power, how these demons have hindered you. Some of us, our years have already been cut off, and it wasn't fair to us. We've had the gravity hindrances. Oh, it's hard for you to get up out of bed in the morning. It's just so hard for you to get out of bed. You're not even supposed to be, I'm not saying you're not supposed to be athletic, but it shouldn't be next to any force getting out of bed in the morning. You see what I'm saying? Look at if you look at, like, say, a chart from the ages and how people grow slowly and slowly. The older they get, they're slumping over to the ground. They're wearing canes. They got a rocker with them or something. We're being pulled by this unnatural energy. This has got to stop. It is killing us. Gravity kills, shortens your life. Just like a lot of your, I'm all over the place. I got so much to say about this. But a lot of the ingredients they put in the food, a lot of stuff they know is bad. What they do, they put it in increments so it kills you over time, makes you sick over time. Because if it made you sick too quick, you could sue them. But if it gives you diabetes over 40 years, they can always say, well, how do you know that our ingredient is doing this? You see what I'm saying? Well, add gravity to that list. We are not supposed to be on the ground. As long as we're on the ground, our life expectancy lowers. The CIA did a lot of this. All I'm saying is go watch Peter Pan. And even thinking about, like, our eyes being spherical, no telling if our vision would change. I don't want to even get into that, but I'll say this. Go watch Dumbo. Dumbo was known for having big ears that could fly. I watched that movie so many times as a child. I'd be insane about everything if I hadn't seen an elephant fly. Ears. I'm gonna need to see somebody deep underground who's not, who can barely get up, who can barely rise. It's not making sense to me. You know, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but when I was thinking about airlines, I always thought that, wouldn't an airline need more air to fly? You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems to me, as heavy as this airplane could be and how thick the air is on the surface, I would think that you would need that air in the sky. Okay, I may be tripping, but that's what I thought. I said, wait, the air is thinner in the sky. So we taking this huge plane in the sky, the air or whatever, and its engines use weaker, less dense air to fly us. I was like a nice Huey Freeman. That's what I'm saying. I'm sure there are gonna be some counter arguments that are welcome. Well, it's because the planets, their magnetic pull from the other planets in the solar. Look, that would mean in the sky that the higher altitude near the top, or what's known as their atmosphere, they would be far rougher. It would seem like the higher you get in the sky, the air would be far more rough because it's absorbing that impact. And then we'd have the peaceful air on the ground level. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of this air movement in these harsh winds, these hurricanes, these tornadoes, somebody literally playing kill all humans and destroy as much property as we can because money exchanges hands. A lot of the wind in the air, these jet streams, it's all induced. It's all controlled. Somebody's doing that. Somebody is doing that with technology you can't fathom. And before I make this video too long, I'll end it with another deep secret that you might not have known. And that is, did you know aircraft? It's a very deep secret. You know aircraft, they are made with gravitational technology on board. I think it's like in the floors or it's in the bottom of the plane, which makes the most sense. But you know, yeah, aircraft have gravitation, and they show you this in the movies all of the time. When they're, you know, they get hit and they end up flying because anti-gravity takes over, like in space, and all of a sudden they put the right course together and hit the button and gravity knocks them back to the ground, and they're like, whew. Well, that's on your airlines as well. This is why even when you're flying your route from Atlanta to LA or something, and you're flying in anti-gravity, gravity still acts upon you. They have this technology even in the planes. That's a very deep secret. Take your scale, go weigh yourself in the bathroom that's full of urine. I'm not getting on the flight attendants. I know that's a very hard job. and they do actually, I see them be, you know, attending to that. But yeah, weigh yourself everywhere you go and mark the weight. Well, some people's weight fluctuate, so that would be hard to do. When you get on that plane, gravity takes over and you go directly into anti-gravity. So they're robbing a lot of space from us. They own the air. They own the skies. They have so much space. And if you go high enough, you may just see some secret places they don't want you to see. Go watch the movie Lift with Kevin Hart. That's a recent movie. If you have the eyes to see, the skills to reach, they tell you nearly everything in that movie. 40,000 feet, you can fly breathable air, given they turn off their freezing temperature. I've been waiting to get this out because I got so much of the stuff I need to say, but you know, it's like all my videos are becoming prerequisites. And so this just freed me to say some other things I want to say. But I'll probably miss something and I'll address it later. But I got a lot more coming. I may need to give y'all a break from all these haymakers, but we'll see. I want to show y'all something. That's something I want to show y'all. And I'm gonna keep bringing it. So I need you to come back and see me. You know, I would like for you to come back and see me and get some more of this free knowledge. Come back. Or your dog may look like a fat, adorable, fluffy bat in the next 100 years. Seriously, if we get our way,